The work remains huge, money is not coming. These are some of the things that are likely to affect Ghana's readiness to host the Africa Games 2023. And my colleague Fentio Tahiro has been on this. On Monday, we'll be coming to you with a detailed report after touring all the facilities that have been put together for the Africa Games 2023. And also, Black Stars assistant coach George Boateng, he has resigned from his role as Aston Villa under-23 coach. We'll also be talking about the Division 1 Super League, and the grand finale is happening later this evening. My colleague Muftawu is there and he's covering the championship for us. I am Muftawu Nabila Abdulai. This is AM Sports. Let's start with the Africa Games 2023, just as you saw gone by, and hear from the local organizing committee chairman, Dr. Ofosu Asare, who has been speaking to Joy Sports about some of the threats that could affect Ghana's readiness to host the event next year. We are just about a year away from hosting the championship. However, infrastructure and other issues that are beyond infrastructure are curtailing Ghana's progress to hosting the event. About 25 sporting disciplines are expected in Ghana. 54 African nations will also assemble here. Would the country be ready to host the event? We hear from the local organizing committee chairman, Dr. Ofosu Asare.
Strictly money, giving out money to get the games, it's purely in the domain of the government.
Yeah, and
we can complement with sponsorship and marketing.
Here's my last question on this. In terms of the facilities, you do constant monitoring.
Yeah, we have a monthly meeting, site monthly meeting, and we are there as LOC. We have ministry, the minister also coming from the ministry with his team. Then we have the consultants and we have the contractors.
Okay, so where do you foresee that if we don't keep consistent in terms of the release of the funds from the government side, we might have challenges? Where do you think government needs to push a little harder in terms of releasing funds so construction can speed up? What do you foresee the major challenges being in terms of infrastructure?
Well, I'm hoping that with this money that we are expecting, I should say, if that is released, it will, assist the contractors to fast track. Yeah. If you have money and you are building, you can even build during the day, build in the middle, have two shifts, have workers coming in and all that. You can beef up your staff and get the work done as quickly as possible. Yeah. So, in my view, if we don't get the money on time, or if we delay in giving them the money, then it means we cannot meet the timelines. And if we can't meet the timelines, then it's going to affect the time schedule for the games. Even though I know that history, the African Games history is replete with occasions where some countries had to shift. Some of the games had to shift to either the following year, 6 months addition and all that. So you have that window in the worst case scenario. We have that window. But because of the Olympics, we are hoping that 2024 will be, we know that 2024 will be very busy. Of course. So, but for that, we would have said, okay, after all, there's 2024. What's the big deal if we are not able to finish in 2023 or host it in 2023? But because of that, so it appears that we have our back to the wall, and we must try as much as possible to find money to finish the facilities. Even in the worst case scenario, we still will need money to use for the existing facilities. Let me give you a case in point. The Independence Square. Yeah. If you have money, you can put in temporary structures and have facilities there and host the games.
Games Village.
Yes. Okay. Here, for instance, we need to, if we're going to use it, but we need to have money to also refurbish. The lavatory and all those places. They need a bit of upgrading. And anywhere like Bukom and all those places, wherever even you want to raise temporary structures, you need money.
You do.
Yeah, so that is where the money issues is extremely cardinal. But I have every belief that as a nation, we will not let this opportunity slip by. We will not allow ourselves to be embarrassed. The president has promised us on numerous occasions that the game will come on board and definitely will host the African Games. Who am I to doubt the president?
And Black Stars assistant coach George Boateng, he has resigned from his role as the coach of Aston Villa under-23 side. Sharing his decision to resign from the club on his Instagram page, he said leaving Aston Villa after 3 wonderful seasons was not an easy decision, but having the opportunity to coach my country at the World Cup was too good to turn down. I've learned so much and I'm grateful for the time spent at this beautiful, amazing club. I want to thank the players, staff and the fans for their wonderful support, and I wish the club every success in the future. As for now, I will concentrate on my role as the assistant coach of Ghana ahead of the FIFA World Cup. George Boateng speaking after leaving his role as the coach of Aston Villa under-23 side. Now let's do the Division 1 Super League. The grand finale is happening later today. It is between Liberty Professionals and Instructureman Football Club. We hear from the head coach of Instructureman FC, Mohamed Gago, who has been speaking to my colleague, Muftawu Razak.
I came here to prepare my team. I came here to use this opportunity as a pre-season training, and it has turned out to be something that we all have to go for it. I mean, it's an opportunity given to me and given to these boys to be able to showcase and to let us know how ready they are to get into action coming when the season kicks off.
So, I mean, what is the strategy ahead of tomorrow? Liberty Professionals aren't exactly a familiar side as far as you are concerned. So what is the strategy? Of course, you studied them also. So what exactly is your strategy, if you're willing to share?
Well, I mean, Liberty Professionals are a good side. I am even surprised they couldn't qualify, because looking at the way they play a very good football, and they do a lot of ball possession, pressing here and there. They play also an attacking football. We have to just take it easy, take the pressure off the players and let them come out and do what they do best. The field will decide tomorrow. But I know it's going to be a tough match.
Is that an assurance to the... Are you giving an assurance to the people of Instructorate that you're bringing the trophy home?
Well, there is never any assurance when football comes to play.
Now let's hear from the head coach of Liberty Professional, Desmond Issa Bochwe, who has also spoken about the grand finale. And he says his focus is to build a team that can compete in the Ghana Premier League and not win the Super League.
Let me say, it is too hard work. The boys are ready to work because they know we are in the pre-season period. So we are using this as a pre-season match, and we want to approach it the way we approach it in the league match. You know, we failed in the last season, and we want to see how best we can, transform this performance into the next league season. It's not a big deal. What we all know is like I said from the beginning, we are using it as a preparatory period for the league season. So we approach every match as equally. With all the the zeal and everything we have. We are learning, so we have to transform into the league match, and that's what we are doing.
To some athletics now, in 2020, President of the World Athletics Governing Body, Sebastian Coe, called on government across the continent to make case active in athletics. Well, recently, speaking to Joy Sports, he reiterated his commitment to ensuring kids athletics become a core part of member associations of World Athletics. He also touched on Africa's ability to hold the World Athletic Championships in the near future.
To Ghana, I was admonishing governments all around the world for not doing more during the COVID months and years for giving access to young people for exercise. It was hugely important, not just for their physical well-being, but crucially for their mental well-being. And I couldn't see a good reason why, under controlled circumstances, we shouldn't have been doing more. This is not a criticism necessarily of Ghana. I spoke to many governments in many countries about the need to try and make it easier for children to exercise during the lockdown periods.
My final question: you went through the bid that was submitted by Kenya for the 2025 Athletics Championship. Just how close were they to hosting the champion, and how close is Africa to hosting the World Championship?
Look, these were 4 really spectacular cities. They all had very, very different contributions to make, and they had very different assets. Clearly, one unquestioned asset in Kenya is the love of athletics, the passion for it, and the extraordinary quality of the athletes. There were challenges around the stadium, which would have needed a great deal of refurbishment, and there was concern expressed by the council about the time frame and the quantum of resource that would be needed in order to refurbish that. But I've spoken to the Kenyan Federation. They know that I am fully committed to helping them or any other African country stage a World Championships in the foreseeable future.
Have you spoken to Ghana Federation?
I haven't spoken to the Ghana Federation, but I've certainly spoken. You would understand I will be speaking to Nairobi, particularly because it was their bid.
The UEFA Champions League group stage draw was done yesterday. Let's take a look at the fixtures as Group C. Mena has described it as a group of death because it has the likes of Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan in there. But Group A, we have Liverpool, Ajax, Napoli and Rangers. Group A, Ghanaians will have an interest in there because of Mohamed Kudus. In Group B, it's Atletico Madrid, Porto, Bayer Leverkusen and Club Brugge. And this one too is another team that Ghanaians will have an interest in there because of Kamal Sowa and the gentleman who recently switched nationality to play for Ghana. And in Group C, like I mentioned, is a group of dead Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Inter Milan, Victoria Plzen. In Group D, Eintracht Frankfurt, Spurs, Sporting Lisbon, and Olympique Marseille. In Group E, AC Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg, Dynamo, Zagreb. Group F, Leipzig, Real Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Celtic. Group G is Manchester City, Seville, Borussia Dortmund, Copenhagen. In Group H is PSG, Juventus, Benfica, and Maccabi Haifa. Now let's take a look at Ghanaian players who are going to be actively involved in this year's UEFA Champions League. My colleague, Elon Benaida Fiamekpo, has been going through the draw and coming up with Ghanaian players who will be playing in specific groups and put together this report.
Lights, camera, action. The biggest club competition is officially back, and there is huge Ghanaian interest ahead of the 2022-23 Champions League edition. Mohamed Kudus will have revenge ringing in his head when he faces Liverpool this year. 2 years ago, he suffered a knee injury against the Merseyside club and had to undergo surgery. Kudus's Ajax will also face a tricky side in Napoli, and then Rangers, who return to the Champions League for the first time in 12 years. Muftawu Isahaku, aged 18, could become the second youngest Ghanaian to score in the Champions League group stage after Peter Quay did it at 17 years. The Sporting Lisbon winger will have the chance in the group stages against Antonio Conte's Tottenham, Europa League winners Frankfurt and Marseille. Last season, Kamal Sowa created as many chances as Neymar when Club Brugge met PSG in the group stages. Sowa, alongside Dennis Odoi, will play against Atletico Madrid, Porto and Bayer Leverkusen in the group stages this time.
There will be live commentary of the UEFA Champions League on Joy 99.7 FM. My colleagues, George Ade Jr. and Fentio Tahiro, will be bringing to you every single description when the group stages starts on September 6th. Let's take a look at European fixtures for this weekend, and starting with the Premier League. And on Saturday, we have Southampton. They'll come up against Manchester United. Brentford will play Everton. Brighton and Hove Albion will play Leeds United. Chelsea will play Leicester. Liverpool will play AFC Bournemouth. Manchester City will come up against Crystal Palace. Arsenal will play Fulham. And on Sunday, it is Aston Villa versus West Ham United, Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Newcastle United, Nottingham Forest will play Tottenham Hotspur. These are the fixtures for match day 4 in the English Premier League. For the Spanish La Liga, we have Girona will come up against Celta Vigo, Real Betis will play Osasuna. These fixtures are for tonight. And on Saturday, we have Elche versus Real Sociedad. Rayo Vallecano will come up against Real Mallorca. Almeria versus Sevilla. On Sunday, we have Getafe versus Villarreal. Barcelona versus Real Valladolid. Espanyol versus Real Madrid. In the Bundesliga, SC Freiburg will come up against Bochum, and on Saturday, that game is tonight. On Saturday, Mainz 05 will play Bayer Leverkusen. Schalke will play Union Berlin. Hertha Berlin will come against Borussia Dortmund. RB Leipzig will come up against Wolfsburg. Hoffenheim will play Augsburg. Bayern Munich versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. And on Sunday is FC Cologne will come up against Stuttgart, and Werder Bremen will come up against Eintracht Frankfurt. These are the matches for the match day 3 of Bundesliga. In Serie A, Monza versus Udinese, Lazio versus Inter Milan. These matches are for tonight. And on Saturday, Cremonese will come up against Torino. Cremonese, they are rumored to be signing Ghanaian striker Felix Afena-Gyan. Juventus will come up against Roma. AC Milan will come up against Bologna. Spezia will play Sassuolo. On Sunday, we have Salernitana versus Sampdoria. Hellas Verona will come up Atalanta. Fiorentina versus Napoli. And Lecce will play Empoli. These are the fixtures for match day 3 in the Italia Serie A. In Ligue 1, Ajaccio will come up against Lille. This is for tonight as well. And then on Saturday, we have Auxerre versus Strasbourg, Lens versus Rennes. And then on Sunday, Nantes versus Toulouse, Brest versus Montpellier, Lorient versus Clermont, Nice versus Marseille, Troyes versus Angers, Rennes versus Lyon, and Paris Saint-Germain will come up against Monaco. And that's how we wrap up AM Sports here with me, Muftawu, Nabila, Abdulai. We appreciate your company.